Ironic. No. Paradis clearly understands your intent.
Careful, he could be a messenger. Or this could get interesting.
We have learned you are not a figure to be trifled with. My compatriots have observed your judgment. We have a message for you. We do not give second warnings. Consider this one carefully.
Hold a moment. They tell me you're going to Emerald Stair. Business or pleasure? Well, just remember to cover your mouth, sneeze into your elbow, and sleep with lavender under your pillow. Fair warning, Envoy. Before you showed up, Inquisitor Ludwine barged past me. She was looking none too pleased. I didn't ask. The less I know, the better. Anyway, I thought you should know Ludwine's on the prowl. Tread lightly.
As long as she's not on our scent. Hopefully, your handling of Egwolf brought us some grace with her.
Oh, one other thing. Did you hear about that expedition team that went missing in the caves north of the city? It's frightful stuff. Can't imagine crawling through caves for a living myself. The ground's been rumbling something fearsome over there, and those roots have been growing like mad. I hope it's not another strangleroot situation is all I'm saying, because those people are goners. Anyway, I hope you can lend him a hand. Seems like a bad way to go. You're cleared to pass, Envoy.
Can't say I'm sad to be leaving Paradis. I had no idea how tense things were with the Adirans moving in.
And Egwolf's death won't help matters.
Survival dictates you remove a threat as soon as it makes itself known. That's exactly what you did.
Regardless, the Steel Garrote will see this as an excuse to crack down. I get the feeling they've been looking for one.
Steel Garrote? I figured they're just more intense Adiran soldiers.
Oh, I hear you. Unfortunately, if you're marching shoulder to shoulder, some of their stink is bound to rub off on you.
I don't like that Ludwine woman. She gives me the vreekas.
Yeah, I've seen floggings gentler than the scolding she gave Hilgard. One's tacking when the other's jibing, if you catch my drift. And that's gonna mean trouble for everyone around them before long.
Then it's a good thing we're getting out of the city.
Yeah. Much as Liviana misses our company, I wouldn't count on your mysterious friend reviving you a second time.
Are you listening to that friend when you go all blank-eyed from time to time? Does your special friend talk to you? I mean, I had an imaginary friend when I was little, but they never brought me back from the dead.
He means that with all due professional respect, of course.
How do you know this friend doesn't mean us any harm?
So they do mean us harm.
Funny. Keep joking when the Envoy starts sprouting mushrooms and attacking everyone.
Easy, Marius. Whatever this is, I don't think he has the Dream Scourge.
Well, you can't fault me for being thorough.
We're headed to Fior Messi Verno to see if the Animancers know anything about the Dream Scourge, right? Maybe we'll learn something about your condition in the process.
Right. When it comes time to deal with Animancers, you two are on your own.
Fair enough, but I wouldn't expect a warm welcome. Hillguard's already brought your homeland's prohibitions against animancy to paradise.
They could stand around and have scholarly debates about souls all they want. Gives me a great opportunity to take a nap.
I haven't been back in a while, but Fjord is, an interesting place. It was founded about 50 years ago by a disgraced Valian duke and a handful of animancers who'd soured on politics in the republics.
Town full of nobles, scholars, and leeches, all surviving off the work of the farmers who grow food for the whole island.
They're an eccentric bunch. You'll see. It turns out that academics are as ungovernable as the rest of us rabble.
They don't understand what they're messing with. They can't tame the wilds with machinery.
They've held it at bay, until recently. Their ingenuity, or madness, or heresy, take your pick, has fed a lot of people in the living lands. But, rumor has it, some unnatural blight is destroying their crops. We'll find out soon enough. And while we're in Emerald Stair, there's something I've been putting off. An old friend from my time in Thirdborn had a cabin out in the woods. Tama. He passed a while ago, but he left something for me that I never got around to picking up. But since we'll be in Emerald Stair anyway... You won't regret it. Emerald Stair's lovely this time of year. Even the Delimgon bloom.
No matter what I tell you, you keep picking flowers from things that want to kill you.
Hey, they love me. You just gotta ask nicely. Compliment their foliage.
Right. Maybe buy them a drink before they choke you to death with vines. I'd hope so. I think that goes without saying.
You and I have quite the adventure ahead of us, Envoy.
Our deal was I'd help you find your assassin. I did that. I figured you'd probably travel faster with fewer people anyway. I have, things to do back in Paradise. It keeps me plenty busy.
Come to think of it, I haven't been to Emerald Stair in a while, and the Envoy's never been. Know any good guides we could hire?
None that could help the two of you. You need the best guide in the lands to keep you from getting yourselves killed.
Yeah. Who else is going to show us which mushrooms we can eat and which ones want to eat us?
Now that you mention it, you're going to need my help if you're traveling through the lands with this Nimdut. I have 2 rules. No campfire songs and no hugs. That last one's non-negotiable.
I hear wiggle room on the singing.
If we're done being ridiculous, we should get some rest. We'll be in Emerald Stair tomorrow.
Good to have you with us, Marius.
Right. Go to bed before you violate the hugging rule.
you be a dear and help with these spoilings, please? Don't get too comfortable. More are on the way. Oh, fantastic. People. I was about to lose my wits.
A mind's question. The dust of the Akita in her hair. She knocks. We would answer.
You wouldn't happen to have a ladder on hand, would you? Sansa! Absolutely not. Cute as a button, but he's so high-strung. I pursue my own academic interests. Interests that require the vase in the ruins. And a ladder. But perhaps we don't need one. You're tall, striking, and well-toned. Oh, of course. Why would a priceless artifact be important? Well, I'm not surprised you don't know of the Godless. But they were here in the Living Lands long before we were. Long before anyone else, as far as I can tell. Give or take a few thousand years. They lived on every corner of the lands. You must have passed a few of their ruins on the way here. The big ones, with spires that look more than a little phallic. A lot of their structures were embedded in the ground. They lived in harmony with the land. I mean, as much as you can live in harmony with the land actively trying to kill you. Maybe it was nicer back then. 30 years of research, and as far as I can tell, they just upped and disappeared one day. Fascinating, right? Well, what's important is that the vase is within my grasp, now that I've a tall, dark, and handsome stranger to help.
If you keep encouraging her, she's going to climb you.
Watch out, Envoy. She seems to have a thing for you.
Careful, darling. I already have a lover. A good one. Skilled with his hands. He always carries a ladder. But, sadly, he's busy helping the Animancers in Fjord. And I need this vase now. Oh, absolutely not. Vidaro, the governor, is an uptight postinago. But if you want to know about the governor, fetch me that artifact. The vase sits atop that tower beside us, in the ruins there. And once you've got it, look me up. Yatsley, wizard extraordinaire, godless expert, and a Balrog in the bedroom.
You do meet the most interesting people.
I can get you 1,000 faces that don't require going into some ancient ruins, but no one listens. Listens to me. Keep quiet. Yeah. Seek! Nice work. Yeah. Yeah.
You are aware I can see you digging through my things. Andra's titties, you found it! I tried using magic to get the vase down, but alas. Thankfully you and your little friends came along and saved the day.
Excuse me. We're all bigger than you are, Nimdude.
I may be small, but my magic is not, I assure you. That I did. Although I can't imagine why. Vidaro is insufferable. First and foremost, Fior Mesiverno is an animancer sanctuary. Vidaro, unlike his father, the former governor, is not an animancer. I don't know why anyone would give two pyres about Vidaro. He loathes the idea of others thinking Fior is less than perfect. Emerald Stair used to be the breadbasket of the living lands. Now it won't bear fruit, and there are rumors of plague. Pleasant, isn't it? But I'd best pack up. I want to get home. I've a new artifact to study. Thank you for your help, Godlike, even if you didn't have a ladder.
That's something I hope never happens again.
I've got a few inches to spare if she changes her mind.
coming in hot.
Granted, I don't come here often, but when did it get this bad? Those are no... as if people weren't hungry enough.
A godlike in Emerald's Den. Well, well, maybe our luck's improving. I'd offer to shake your hand, but I've been elbow deep in Beatrice all day. Try and use their names, if you don't mind. It builds their confidence. As you can see, this is my reanimated corpse farm.
Oh, and what do you use for fertilizer? Other corpses?
I'm trying to demonstrate the value of undead labor. But of course, nothing is ever that simple. What am I supposed to do? Just let them decompose? Reanimated corpses are the future of manual labor. Cost-effective, low maintenance, and very friendly. Now, Beatrice, she's being a real problem, if you can believe it. Would you be a dear and reach into her guts? Feel around for anything that doesn't belong. Just imagine you're preparing to roast a chicken. A wet, ropey, warm chicken. If Beatrice ate something that disagreed with her, the least I can do is keep it from spreading to the rest of the flock.
Make sure you wash your hands after this.
Huh. It's like cleaning a deer carcass. If it was rotten.
I saw you reach into Beatrice. Find anything interesting? Aha! So the blight got into my revenant and interfered with her raising. That confirms one of my theories. Not only is the Dream Scourge affecting our farms, it's disrupting animancy. unraveling our work. Sounds like I have more research ahead of me, but at least now I have a sense of direction. Thank you for getting your hands dirty on my behalf, godlike. You're a natural. Not really. But that's all right. You and I have something in common. We're animancers. Hooking up equipment and seeing what happens is what we do. You see, the living lands is rich with essence, the energy of souls. We channel this energy into our fields. And that's why Emerald's there is the breadbasket of the living lands.
There's something poetic about the idea of plants eating souls to survive. Creepy, but poetic.
But as you can see, we've been dealing with some irregularities. Spoken like a true Adiran. Traditional farms depend on water, sunlight, and the mercy of insects. What you see here is no different. Animancy can change the world, but it's an uphill climb. People don't trust what they don't understand. Come back soon.
Right behind you.
That it?
More of this stuff. Has anyone figured out how to get rid of it? What am I hitting?
Humans, get me!
Hand in hand, they toil, and the earth gives in return. The smile of the harvest.
I don't see what's the problem.
If you can't see it, I doubt I can explain it to you.
Tell me another solution that would be half as efficient as that.
They just make me feel uncomfortable.
I'm glad to see revenants working in our fields. I see nothing wrong with it.
What if the body used to be your brother? Your grandfather? You, Adiran, you know what a revenant is, don't you? Your dead friends and family walking around rotting all over your cabbages? At least someone around here seems to have a semblance of common sense.
You're the first godlike to come through in... well, I can't remember how long. I hope that's a good sign. Some believe the gods have abandoned Emerald Stair. If the gods don't bless us with a harvest soon, this market will be empty come winter. Really? You know the gods don't exactly favor animancy. Some say the old gods aren't here, or maybe they just don't care for the living lands. If you need an animancer, you'll have to clear it with the governor. He lives in the big manor on the far side of town. Let me know if anything strikes your fancy. We don't have much, but the harvest has...
What do you mean that's all you got? Last week you said there'd be grain.
I know what I said. I said, but we only have so much to go around. Godlike. Godlike.
No cutting in line. I was here first. Another late harvest. How do they expect me to feed my family? Last season, we were lining up all the way to the river. But at least there was enough food for everyone. It's not just the market either. Emerald Stair might as well be a graveyard. Animancers are supposed to work miracles on these lands. But what good are miracles if we're starving? Haven't you been listening? The old ways are no good out here. We're not worried about biting the hand that feeds us anymore, now that we know it's empty.
An empty hand can still slap the soccer out of you.
Word of advice, Outlander. Don't tarry in Emerald Stair.
What do I tell Sovia? It's not bad enough that their mother... A little earlier and you'd have beaten the other bandits to my crops. But I guess that's on you, isn't it? Ah, finally! Someone who cares about something other than themselves. When they ran away, I saw them following the river north. They're probably hiding up there, waiting to steal from someone else. You come back with my crops, and I'll give you whatever I can.
I'm not making it up.
You're not still on about that, are you?
What about you? You're the envoy. Of all people, you should know. I was out hunting for springberries yesterday evening when I saw a group of soldiers in the woods. I didn't linger long. I didn't want them to notice me, but they were adhering. I'm sure of it. I'm not sure. They looked like they were arguing. Maybe they were lost. I also saw the most unusual woman. She was alone, but I couldn't see her face behind the cowl and mask. An Inquisitor? Here? In Emerald Stair? What did I tell you?
Rat smells, give it a rest.
I wouldn't have taken Ludwig for a walk in the woods type, but who knows?
Word of advice, give a wide berth to the governor's manor. Giat is about to tear that poor man a new one. One of our animancers. She's bright as a spark, but a mite confrontational. She came storming up the hill with a wheelbarrow full of spoiled crops. Then the shouting started.
Animancers fighting?
This isn't the first time Giat has put the governor in his place, but it might be the last. The governor's manor is on the far side of town. You can't miss it. Just follow the sound of foul language.
I was hoping to learn some local curses.
Looking forward to seeing what it looks like when Animancers fight.
Yeah, I pretty much brought that.
Good to see you.
Ah, the Emperor's envoy. Inquisitor Ludwig said you might be heading this way. Captain Alfair of the Steel Garrote. If you're here to speak with Vidaro, I'm afraid you'll find the governor is quite beyond reason. These Valians and their love of animancy. Good. Perhaps he will listen to you. I am not fashioned for statecraft. Still, I think the governor is too stubborn to be persuaded even by the Emperor's finest. When diplomacy fails, the Steel Garrote will be ready to ensure the safety of Adiran interests. We all have our part to play, until later.
She's as subtle as a broadside.
Does subtle mean something different outside of Solace?
You startled me. This old woman can get lost in prayer from time to time. You must be the Adiran envoy I've been hearing about. Apologies for any hardships you may have experienced getting here. The failing crops, the strange beasts, and even the dream scourge are all the result. I was calling on the spirits of the recently dead to follow the guidance of Bareth, god of death. I am asking the spirits to forgive us for our negligence and continue on their way without anger. The dead of Fjord expect certain rituals to be carried out. I have failed to perform those rituals, and now the spirits are angry. We cannot take that chance. There are angry spirits, and you know the problems we face. I believe the two are our recent dead require a final meal to ease their passage from life. Without it, they can't rejoin the cycle.
You've got people waiting in line for their next meal, and you want to waste food on the dead?
I got food from the grain merchant stores. I just need someone to leave it at the graves. The dead will...
Flesh and bone. They bring the fruit to those who cannot eat. What tree calls for its branches to endure these rituals?
This custom goes back a long way. We never had dream thralls or such blight in our crops until now. Do it for whatever reason you like, as the first offering goes to a cliffside grave. Loggers from the old days, they sacrificed themselves to make the land habitable, and lost their lives to creatures of the untamed forest. The second offering goes to a grave in the swamp. They buried the bodies of settlers there, intrepid sorts that tried to tame the farther reaches of Emerald Stairs wilds. The final offering should be taken to the truffle farm east of Fjord, where a family lost their lives to the encroaching wilds. I understand how it looks, but appeasing the dead is vital, especially in times like these. I can't thank you enough for helping to ease the conscience of an old lady.
Seems that way.
Vidaro says the crop looks promising, though.
How can he know? He's not a farmer.
Be patient. He hasn't steered us wrong before.
Giata, what's the meaning of this?
Look at these crops. Look at your city. The Dream Scourge is laying waste to our home.
There is no Dream Scourge in Emerald Stair.
The land begs to differ, and I can prove it.
We can discuss this in private.
We are discussing it now. How can you ignore what's right in front of you? The Dream Scourge is here, in the soil, and it's killing us. Oh my goodness. Are you a godlike? Charmed. Forgive me for staring. It's just, we don't see many of your kind anymore.
Maybe you can talk some sense into our governor. Put the fear of the gods in him.
Tempers are high, but I don't see any assassins. Yet.
Excuse me, but unless you have official business, I'll thank you not to involve yourself in our private discussion. Very well. I hope you remember that behind these walls, your influence has limits.
I'm sure he didn't come all this way just to challenge your authority. As you can see, I was just proving a point to our esteemed governor.
A cart full of spoiled vegetables. You call that a point?
Ha! Emerald Stair used to be a lush garden for miles around, and now I don't even recognize it. First came the invasive species, roots and mycelium growing overnight, as though nature itself had gone mad. The Dream Scourge has twisted our lands, our wildlife, and now, our farms. Then there's no time to waste arguing with bureaucrats.
I like her already.
I believe that we can restore the land, bring back its soul and its sanity, cut off the Dream Scourge at the root. Our governor would rather ignore the problem. He doesn't trust animancy as his father did. Before we can deal with the Dream Scourge, we first need to understand it. Unfortunately, new experiments have to go through him.
Must be nice that all the arguing isn't about you, for once.
I'm just trying to stop Giata from hurting herself. Animancy is dangerous when you're shooting in the dark. I see you're unfamiliar with animancy. You don't appreciate just how dangerous that could be. Are you going to tell him about your family's basement? Or should I?
How dare you use that against me?
I know it was an accident, but look what it cost you. We can't let it happen again.
While we argue among ourselves, the Dream Scourge is tearing the living lands apart. Tearing our people apart. Really? Unexpected from an Adiran. But how could I refuse an offer like that? Well, Governor, looks like I'm taking some time away from my duties. I'll trouble you no more.
Your request is denied, Giata.
I wasn't asking.
Your responsibilities are to the settlement. Turning away from them sets a precedent that I cannot allow.
Everything I have proposed has been for Fior, and you still refuse to cooperate. Under the circumstances, I don't have much of a choice.
Then neither do I. Giata Castel, from this day forth, you are banished from Fior Mesiverno.
Whoa, you're banishing her for that?
What?
Ignacy, we can't lose our brightest animancer in the middle of a crisis.
Your pupil has gone too far, Quilici. Take her and leave. You're still a guest in my town, but to us, Giata is an outcast. Perhaps. But I can't just let her continue to poison the minds of my animancers.
They aren't your animancers. Your father understood that.
Don't bother, old man. He isn't his father. I've done all I can for Fior Messivernal. But you haven't even tried. Now limp back to your giant house like a good dog. We should talk somewhere private. Meet me at my house due west by the workshop.
Another mouthful feed. Maybe we'll need to let Kai hunt you after all.
By tradition, the governor's manor is open to the public.
I'm sorry you had to witness that spectacle. Whatever you may think of us, I welcome you to Fior Messiverno. I believe the nature of the living lands is unpredictable, and animancy is our best chance at getting it under control. But what Giatta wishes to do is more dangerous by far than what she's trying to solve. Quilici wants us panicking over what he can't even prove. If there's a threat to Emerald Stair, it's that old man and his spearmongering. Don't waste your time on him. He was loyal to my father, but never to me. And he knows how to rally others to his side.
This Nimdude wouldn't see a Balrog coming if it did a little dance right in front of him.
If there's nothing more, I have a city to run.
Is this the governor's mother? Blessed a shame.
Teeth dancing in and out of my mouth. My hands. My hands. Sharp tongue.
Ado, well, I was not expecting such an esteemed guest in my humble workshop.
Are you in need of any weapons or armor? The roads haven't been safe as of late. Establishment, I mean.
I had one job. One job. I couldn't even do that. Look out for her, Fidelio. How hard could that have been? Not everyone has the ranger captain breathing down their neck. I don't mean that. I have a lot on my plate. I'd like to be. They're out searching. Someone had to hold down the fort. My two youngest rangers were supposed to report back from their rounds. I assumed they'd turn up. But it's been 3 days now. They're still not here. Brasilia. Their names are Belena and Adalaro. I doubt they'll be a part. They were good rangers once. But since they've caught each other's eye, all they do is sneak off to... I wouldn't have put it that way, but all right.
Well, there's worse places to make the four-legged beast. I promise you that.
New recruits running off with each other? Oh man, this brings me back.
Anyway, I never thought I had any cause for concern. They always found their way back eventually, but they haven't this time. They're out there, all alone, and they could be in... The last time I saw them, I sent them to patrol the northern riverbed. If...
Two young Nimdutin wandering out by a river. Consider them found.
Maybe we don't.
Pour you a drink. The crabs rule all.
Can anything be done?
Well, I'll be a godlike in the bone and bore. Apologies for the ruckus outside. The Animancers never know when... I might be more amused if it didn't happen so often. But that's Animancers for you. Except Giata and Quilici, that is. They are the only Animancers taking the Dream School. Try telling that to Vidaro and the Animancers. But the rest of us, we've all heard the rumors from outside. Animals gone mad, terror stalking the wilderness day and night. Bereth's bells, of course. If Emerald Stair runs out of food, we are in dire straits anyway. We've had crops fail before, but never food rations. The governors. So, we ought to drink while we can. Agreed? Welcome back, envoy.
That did not go as I had planned.
What did you think would happen when you confronted him so?
Well, my first idea was to mess up his house. Maybe break a window.
Perhaps I should thank you for showing restraint.
I'm sorry you had to see that. What an asshole.
Giata, some manners, if you please.
Why start now?
We're on the verge of extinction, but our governor is too busy protecting his fragile ego. What does he know? He isn't even an animancer.
You did challenge his authority.
I know, but... curses. Without Fior Misiverno, I'm hardly even an animancer. My tools, the workshop, all gone.
I wish I could take credit for Giata's stubbornness, but she learned that on her own.
Thanks, old man. At least now I'm free to study whatever I want. On my terms. The Dream Scourge has been a thorn in my side for too long. I have plans for this island, and they don't involve the Dream Scourge.
Your parents would be proud to see such tenacity.
Anyway, listen to us babble. Let's talk about you. I never expected to see an Adiran envoy here. You've got a lot of guts showing your face in a town full of animancers.
We will set aside our differences for the greater good, won't we, Giata?
Our first order of business is the Dream Scourge, but I'm also curious about you. There aren't many godlike left these days. Sorry. I only bring it up because Animancy might offer us some insight into your nature. Keep an open mind. While I pack up my belongings, you can help me by... I just realized this is the end. I have to leave.
Some people don't find out who they really are until they leave home.
You'll be all right. My advice, find a good tavern and learn how to prepare a squirrel over an open flame.
Maybe if I focus on what I have gained, I can learn to accept everything I've lost. When it comes to the Dream Scourge, we haven't been allowed to acknowledge the problem, much less act on a solution. Today, that changes. I need help from the animancers around town, but as you could... I hope so, because we're running out of options. Manto Pastor is in the workshop due west. He's got an invention. Elia Rossell is an authority on the undead. Her methods are controversial, but useful. She lives in a cottage southeast of town. And then there's Yvette and Remy, our philosophers. You'll find them at the docks. Each of them owes me a favor. Drop my name. We're about to make history. But first, research.
Guessing she's not much of a hunter. Might want to get extra rations next time we go shopping.
Godlike, Imperial, envoy, research assistant. Who knew?
I have a theory that her longevity and hardiness are due to an inordinate infusion of essence.
Yeah.
Come one. A moment of your time, my friend. Tell me, what do you know about your soul? Wrong. Your soul is an ancient, wondrous thing, suffused with lifetimes of but it's tired, my friend, heavy with the burden of That's the beauty of it. The first treatments on. The moment you entered the city, I calibrated my invention to the highest setting and attuned it to your soul. So tell me, how do you feel? Better? Oh, I'm so glad to hear it. From this day forward, do remember to tell your friends about all the benefits of animals.
You have a thing for sticking your head in the bear's mouth, don't you?
Ado, welcome to the fine establishment I mean. Ado, welcome to my fine establishment, amigo. Ado, welcome to my fine establishment, amigo. Ado, welcome to my fine establishment, amigo. Ado, welcome to my fine establishment, amigo.